Can you tell us any story of how you approach the retention problem? You don't need to tell us anything that you don't have to, but if you can sort of tell us a story paint a picture of how you went about a particular challenging retention problem, and after that, probably we'll have time for some Q&A. This is going to be
Sure.
a not a very long conversation, so.
Sure, absolutely. I can talk about this probably about 4 5 years back. Won't go into the specifics because I don't want to name names here. But we were a tech product. We were targeted at developers. We were I ideally built for small teams, small dev shops, individual freelancers, stuff like that. We were not in the enterprise uh, market at all. And our thesis around why we had product market fit was like other players in this space were becoming more and more enterprisey in their
Mm.
product, right? Which made it more and more difficult and more complicated and more hard to manage their products if you're a small team, right? In terms of billing, their features and stuff like that was becoming set up for big, large engineering teams, right? So we're like, okay, there are people who are dissatisfied there. They will come if we can kind of, roll back the clock and give them a simple product, right? We launched this very fast in the market. We were a very scrappy startup at the time. It was literally 10 devs, myself and a fresher, right? Myself and the fresher and two product managers. So four of us were non-engineering people, and we were scrapping up. We had reached around, say, few thousand MRR at a time. Uh,
Mhm.
a lot of acquisition, a lot of focus obviously was on acquisition because we needed to get users in the door. We needed to get more and more users in the door, trying the product to really stress test our PMF and to also kind of figure out our next product roadmap, right? We needed people to use the product and tell us what they wanted next. So obviously, like of the 385 priorities I had, churn was not in the top of five, at least for the first few months, right? But I also knew it was not something I could ignore because acquisition is expensive in this space. As you can imagine, we're going up against big players who are targeting enterprise. They have like 9 zeros after me, beyond me in the budget. So then when we looked at churn, we looked at it, across a lot of segments, by channel, by even like time of day of when they signed up, and from geography and things like that. But finally we kind of went on monthly cohorts, and what we realized is this, that our churn was pretty significant,
Mm.
not because our core product was bad or we didn't have PMF, but because we were very raw as a product, and like a lot of things around the user journey was rough and kind of scrapped together, right? Like if someone forgot their password, they had to email us,
Got it.
right?
Fiction. Yes.
Yeah, right. So that kind of things were there. So people like, nice product, great idea, but we'll probably come back when you're kind of more complete, right? uh, but at the same time, what we did see was a small growing base of users who were kind of irrationally loyal to us,
That's I like
while
that
everyone
term.
else was leaving, like, this is too much pain for me. Like, these guys are like, I was like, okay, why are you staying with me? And obviously, the one crucial step in all this, obviously, to actually talk to users, and that's what we did, and we understood what this was, and that really kind of helped us drive very tightly on who our ideal customer profile is, right? And obviously, as an early stage, we were, shooting at a bunch of different profiles and personas, trying to see where we would kind of get, strong attraction, and that kind of came out in this. And the hard lesson from this was we needed to go really narrow. We needed to focus absolutely on this ICP and completely build for them. We had to build a product, our customer journey, finding those moments of delight where the aha moments are landing. Everything is around uh, these ICPs, right? And these were basically like senior developers over, say, 8, 10, 12 years of work experience who were, and this was, say, probably before the big startup boom in India. So a lot of these guys were starting, these are probably the first generation of startup thinkers in the country. And,
Aditya,
a lot
what's ICP? Sorry,
ideal customer profile, right? So,
ideal customer. Oh, yeah, got it.
sorry, I tend to fall into acronyms about a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these were senior devs who were starting to build things on the side, who were starting to experiment with new products, solve problems for themselves that they were facing at work, right? And they wanted some lean, clean architecture product that they could use, which was not as complicated and messy as what they're using
Right.
in their enterprises.
Mhm.
So we're like, okay, let's build for them. Let's build our product ecosystem around that, right? So yes, it was a little hairy few months before we kind of turned the churn story around, where our ideal customers who were staying loyal to us started to outweigh guys who are coming in and walking out the door at the same time, right? A lot of juggling to be done for those few months, because we were also trying to accelerate acquisition at the same time. But yeah, I think we made it through pretty well.